You wanted a different life. Here is what you got, this one. At some point of your life, you had a picture of who you would become. Maybe it was clear. Maybe it was just a feeling. But it was there. A version of you that was more free, more secure, more at peace, doing work that meant something, living somewhere that felt right, with people who truly saw you. And then you look up and you see where you actually are. The distance between that picture and this life. This distance is the one of the heaviest things a human being carries. Nobody talks about it, but everybody feels it. Today, we talk about it. There's a word I want to use today. The gap. The gap between what you desired and what your life actually became. Most people think the gap exists because they did something wrong. They made a bad choices. They weren't smart enough. They weren't disciplined enough. They weren't lucky enough. But that is not why the gap exists. The gap exists because nobody told you the truth about how life actually works. From the time you were a child, you were shown destinations, success, happiness, freedom, love, wealth, beautiful destinations. But nobody showed you the actual road. Nobody told you that the road is long, that it bends in directions you cannot predict, that sometimes the road disappears completely, and you have to build it yourself one step at a time. Nobody told you that desire is easy to feel, but building is slow and uncomfortable and deeply unglamorous. So you grow up with a picture in your mind and a road you were never prepared for. That is why the gap exists. Not because you failed, because you were never shown the full truth. Now, here is where it gets important. Because everyone has a gap, but not everyone responds to it in the same way. There are three things most people do when they feel the gap. First, they blame themselves. They turn the gap into evidence. Evidence that they are not enough, not smart enough, not strong enough, not deserving enough. They carry it like a wound, and that wound quietly destroys them from the inside. Second, they numb it. They scroll, they consume, they distract, they stay busy with things that doesn't matter, so they don't have to sit with the feeling of a life that doesn't match the picture. Numbing is not living. It is waiting to die while pretending to be fine. Third, and that is the most dangerous one, they shrink their desire. They stop wanting the picture. They tell themselves the picture was naive, unrealistic, childish. They make their peace with less. And slowly the light in their eyes goes out. I'm not here to judge any of these. I've done all three. But I'm here to tell you, none of them close the gap. Here is what I have come to believe. The gap is not your enemy. The gap is your compass. It is the distance between where you are and where you are meant to go. And as long as you feel that distance, as long as it still hurts, you are still alive to your own potential. The people who truly have no gap are not the successful ones. They are the ones who stopped wanting. Every person who ever built something real, a business, a life, a body of work, a family, they lived inside the gap for years, sometimes for decades. The gap did not stop them. The gap was the fuel. Think about the most powerful things ever built by human hands. None of them came from comfort. None of them came from people whose life already matched their vision. They came from people who felt the distance and decided to work towards it instead of away from it. Let me ask you something. Why is your life not what you imagined? This is not my question. That question leads nowhere. The real question is this: what are you doing today? Even one small thing to close that distance. Not tomorrow, not when the conditions are perfect, not when you have more money, more time, more energy. Today, at this moment. Because the gap does not close by waiting. It closes by moving. One honest step, one true decision, one moment where you choose the picture over the comfort of staying still. This is all it takes to begin. Not to finish, just to begin. I want to leave you with something. If you're sitting with the gap right now, if you're feeling the weight of a life that does not yet look like what you wanted, I want you to hear this. You did not get the wrong life. You got an unfinished one. And unfinished is not the same as over. The picture is still there. The road is still open. And you, right now, in this moment, are still capable of walking it. I am Zeno. This is made from scratch. And I will see you in the next one.